Hello, my name is Michael Strand, and I'm going to tell you why I think you should be buying generic brand food and drugs over brand name food and drugs. Back when I was a kid, I used to love going grocery shopping with my mom, mostly because I got to see all this awesome food that I got to eat later on. But I noticed that when we would go grocery shopping that there was certain foods that we never would buy, and it wasn't because we didn't like them or we didn't want to try them, but because my mom labeled them as generic foods. She labeled them as the Stop and Shop brand, and she purposely avoided them because she used to tell me that their quality wasn't as good. Until one day when we were in the chip aisle and there's this gentleman stocking shelves, and my mother went to go pick up a bag of Wise chips, and the gentleman said that he wasn't sure if we knew, but the Wise and the Stop and Shop were made at the same factory on the same production line, and they were just put into different packages at the end of the day. And this sort of changed my mother's perception, and my perception as well. Now, my mother still buys many brand names because she just prefers them, I guess. But my perception was changed to the point where now when I go grocery shopping, I seek out those sort of generics because, for one, there's a huge price difference, and just because I like to try the different ones to see if there's a difference in taste. And according to myself and Consumer Reports and many other people, across all types of food, there's almost no difference. And in many times, the brand and the generic are made by the same company, so you shouldn't taste a difference. Now, there's a huge difference in price when it comes to food. For one, food as a generic is up to 50% less than the brand name food. And that can have a huge impact on your grocery bill, which is something my mother used to always complain about. She would complain how expensive the food was, but at the same time she would be coming home with brand name Oreos instead of the generic ones. Now, obviously food is a bit tricky to deal with because people have different perceptions of their food. If you're somebody who really loves Cinnamon Toast Crunch and you get the generic of it, you may notice the difference because you're so used to the brand name one. However, on many other products, maybe ones that you haven't tried or ones that you don't really think about, like your condiments or your pasta or your basic necessities that you don't really pay attention to, the generic can be a lot less, and just there's no perception difference even if they're different companies that make them. So I hope that I can convince you that at least to just try. Because when I go to like a place like Target or Aldi's, a lot of their stuff now has become generic. They don't even have many brand names in their sections, like their health section, their candy section. It's just the Target brand or the Walmart brand stuff. And I hope that I can convince you to maybe at least try it, because you may be pleasantly surprised on many of them. You may find that you like the generic more than the brand name even. And when it comes to drugs, this is an even more clear-cut decision. The FDA requires generic drug companies to perform just as well as the brand names. They have to under law, but the generics can cost up to 80% less. So this is a huge difference. When you go to the store and you find the Benadryl, just get the generic, because according to the FDA, they have to be the same, and they are the same. Because if they weren't, they'd be pulled off the shelf. And this can save you a huge amount of money, and it saves consumers up to $185 billion a year just on choosing the generic over the brand name. And this is true for over-the-counter medicine and prescription medicine that your doctor would deal with. So when your doctor prescribes a medicine, even if he prescribes the brand name, many times insurance companies will only allow you to fill the generic one. Mm-hmm. And if you fill the brand name, you have to pay out of pocket, and the insurance won't cover it. So a lot of this is all tied to perception, and there is a reason behind why companies charge more. It's because, for one, they hope that you assume that the higher price means better quality, but it's also because the higher price allows them to pay for their advertising budget. So when you see a General Mills commercial advertising something like Fruit Loops, they're advertising for that product, hoping you're going to buy it and hoping you will equate their higher price and their advertising with a higher quality product, even if the Walmart one never advertises about it, but is made by the same people. They're hoping that you won't care about the difference, that you will just automatically go for the brand name because they have a higher price and because you're used to it. So I hope I'm able to convince you to, at least for food, at least try it and see if there's a difference, because according to Consumer Reports on almost every product across the board, there isn't. Whether it's snack food or cereals, there's no difference. And in many times, the generic is even better. And when it comes to drugs, it's an even more clear-cut choice because they have to be the same. Legally, the drugs must be the same, so why would you go with the brand when you can go with the generic? Thank you.